Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at KASPA. This is going to be a lower time frame video. Make sure you check out a higher time frame video up above for more information on that higher degree counts. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of the ways we're discussing this. What we're saying is that we could have this as an impulse to the upside. We could potentially look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in which case we could actually be completed into this high. So now what we need to be careful of, if this is the case, is if we do have this as a 5-wave move as it is completed, what we could start to see is a deeper retracement to the downside. Now, the most common area that we would be looking for here as a potential support zone would be between this 25405 to this 15268 area. If we do see price come back down into this zone in 3 waves, what we could potentially see is continuation to the upside. If, however, we start to break down in a bigger way here, we need to be careful of a 5-wave move to the downside, which could actually start to signal that, this is in the higher degree count, looking to complete this wave 5 into this high over here. Now, we were discussing this in the macro, saying that we need to be careful because we have come up into these areas, and potentially what we could see is that this could be a 5th wave completed here, this higher degree 5th wave, in which case this could mean that we start to see price break to the downside in a bigger way. If we were looking for this, we'd be expecting at least a move into the previous wave 4, which would be down here towards this 11667. So we need to be careful of that idea of a sell off here starting to develop. But within the internals here, there are a few ways of counting this. Now, if this is actually looking to extend out here, what we could find is that, like I said, we get this as a 5-wave move. We get 3 waves down, find support above this 11659, and then see continuation up. So that will be where this green support box is going to come into play here. If, however, we look at this in a different way, and it's one of the other ways of counting this, what we could argue is that within this count, what we could have is that this is actually 1, 2, this is 1, 2 here. And effectively, we're looking for this 3rd wave. Now, most common target for this 3rd wave would actually be up here at this 51642. And it is possible that we could still be extending out within this wave. But because of the size of this structure here, I wouldn't want to say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, though it is technically still possible. I think that it would be more likely, though, that this blue wave 4 would potentially be in play here. So if we do see price continue to consolidate here, I will be looking at the potential that this wave 3 just has not achieved 1618 because the wave 1 was so strong. Now, if this is the case, potentially we could be in this wave 4 already. So we're going to discuss what that could actually look like here. Now, if we are within that wave 4, what we could see is that this could actually develop as a triangle. Now, if we are looking at this as a triangle, effectively what we'd be saying is that this would be A, B, C, D, and then we're looking for 3 waves to the downside. Invalidation would be this 3, 2, 0, 0, 0. If we move down below this level, this would invalidate this idea, as well as a push up past this 39819. If we do move past this area here, this would invalidate the idea of this being a triangle. Now, it is also possible that we could argue this is A, B, and then we could say that this is actually A, B, and then we're still looking for the C wave. So the C wave could potentially be in play here, but if we see a 5-wave move to the downside, which actually fails to break this white line here, this could just mean that this triangle moves out like this, and effectively we have something more along these lines, where this is still within a potential triangle. But if that was the case, then we'd have to wait for that confirmation of this D wave to the upside. Until we get that D wave up, this could just be a WX and a Y. So we're going to go over that idea as well. But effectively, what I'm looking for in the immediate term here is if we do see 3 waves back down into this trend line that we have here formed between this A and this C, what we could potentially see is this E wave play to the downside here and then look to push to the upside. Now, an area I'd be looking out for here potentially would be this 34664 as potentially coming back into the 0.382 if we do see price come down. Now, E waves are very tricky because they can either overshoot this trend line or actually undershoot it. So we need to just be careful of that idea. Now, if this was a 4th wave in this area here, what we'd then be expecting is after this E wave completes, to see 5 waves to the upside. Now, the most common area that we'd be looking for, given our current structure, would be this 47770 to this 43464. Now, if we do see this get 3 waves down and then we get this additional 5th wave to the upside here, like I said, that could then potentially mean that within this structure here, what we are looking for is this 3rd wave is played out, this 4th wave is played out, And what this would mean is we'd still be looking for the yellow degree 4th and 5th to play out. So effectively what we'd then be looking for, if we did have to see something like that, is we'd be looking for a 4th wave, then back into this range of this previous 4th here, between this 34100 and this 24949. So that would be looking at the idea that, we could have this blue wave actually playing out, and then we still get this yellow 4th and a 5th. So it's going to be important to see how we react after that point. Now, like I said, it is also possible that we could see this move develop as ABC and the triangle is not complete, and that would be looking at the C wave still being in play. And what we could see is something along these lines here, because potentially we can count this as 1, 2, 3, triangle for 4, 5. So if that is the case, what we could then have is that this could just be A, this could be B, and then we get another 5 wave move to the downside. The other way that we can count this is that we count this as a diagonal pattern into this low with a triangle as a B wave, and then that would be our C. So we need to see how price reacts here. If we do just see this as a 3 wave move up, and then we get 5 wave move to the downside here into this 1-to-1 level, which would be here at this 33231, that would align with actually still holding above this invalidation point. So this 32000 is going to be our invalidation of this. But if we see another 5 wave move down here, which looks to push down and breaks this low, then effectively all we're doing here is, like I said earlier, we could potentially just be expanding this triangle out, and we're still within that C wave, because the C waves tend to be the most complex and they do tend to take the most time. So that could be that possibility there. Now, it is also possible as a 4th wave here. What we could see is that this could rather develop as something like this, where we have this as a bigger W, an X, and a Y. Now, it's possible that this X wave could be completed already, because we have moved up here and we have hit this zone of this 0.618, which would be here at this 38918. Just being cautious of is that if we are looking at this potentially as a bigger W, an X, and a Y, or alternatively an A, a B, and a C as a flat correction, what we could then see is that potentially this Y wave could be incomplete, because we haven't achieved 1-to-1. We have met the minimum requirement, but until we actually take this low of this 34000, we need to be on the lookout for that possibility that this could actually just be A. We get 3 waves down. Common retracement area would be this 36368 to this 34994, and then looking for another move to the upside. If we do find support in this box, we could potentially look for another push up here towards this 42308 as a potential target area. Now, if we do see something along these lines, what this could mean is that this could just be an A, this could be a B, and then we could be looking for a C, because this purple box area here, this is the most common area of a B wave that is overshooting. So that's between this 45071 and this 41000. If we are getting this as some kind of a flat correction, potentially we could see another push to the upside here for that B wave, and then see 5 waves develop to the downside. If we do see something like this and we fail to, stay within that parameter of that triangle here, we could see price actually come back down here, and this could then become A, B, and then we see a C wave, which would look to target out typically this zone of this 3120 to this 28314. So that would be what we're looking out for here on this shorter term here. As long as we remain above 3400, I'm going to be on the lookout for that possibility that we could see a continuation here up here for a C wave. But we also need to just respect the fact that we can also count this as A, B, and C. So it is possible that we could already be within this Y wave from over here, and that this could be looking for this Y wave off of this current high here. Now, that target, if we look to break down again in that ABC, like we discussed earlier on in the video, where we said we could be looking for that C wave down here, that would then mean that we could move into this 1-to-1 area. You have this 30361. If I overlay that quickly, we can see that the 1-to-1 would actually be higher up here towards this 0.618. However, if we did see this Y wave move down towards the bottom of this channel and rather towards the 1.618 area, this would then align with the idea that this could just be a 3-wave move down. Now, the problem that we have here is if we do see price actually come down here and we get this as A, B, and we get a C wave, which starts to push towards this 1618 level. If we cross this, we need to start being careful of that idea of a 4th and a 5th. If we do get something like that, Potentially we could still argue that this is AB, but then I'd be very cautious that this isn't actually 1, 2. This all becomes 3, we get 4 and 5, which would then mean that we're potentially starting a bigger move to the downside, where this whole structure will then either become an A wave, we get a 3 wave back up, and then we get a C wave, or alternatively this becomes 1, 2, and then we get a much bigger breakdown for a 3rd wave. So we want to avoid that at all costs. Moving past this 1618 doesn't necessarily mean we have a 5 wave move. It could just mean that the structure is effectively ABC, and then we fail to develop that 4th wave. We move up, invalidate that idea of a wave 5 by crossing the low of this wave 1, and then we look to continue to the upside from that point. Now, if we do form something like this as a corrective structure, what we also need to be careful of is there is that other alternative that we're saying here, that this could actually be another 1 and a 2. And what we were saying is that we're looking for this as being a potentially completed move, and we're looking for a retracement back down towards this 31282 to this 23503. So if we do maintain this low over here and we maintain this support box, particularly this 23503 is going to be very important. But given the current structure here, what we'd typically be looking for would possibly be this move between this 382 and this 50%. If this does come down deeper here, we do have some confluence between this 0.618 and this previous structure here towards this 26471. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. So if we do form something like this as a corrective move to the downside, and then we see another 3 wave move up, and then we see price do something like this, this could align then to the idea that this could actually be another 1, 2 here, and that we're looking for a bigger extension. If we do see an extension in this way, effectively what we'd be looking for after a move to the downside here would be a move up potentially to this 82801, which would be then our wave 3 target, and that would then possibly give us a target for this 5th wave here, where we'd be looking for this 1087 to this 0918 as a possible target for this 5th wave. So this is what we're going to be looking for here. If we're looking for extension, this would then align with the idea that instead of counting this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like I was there, that this is actually 1, 2, 1, 2. This then becomes our 3rd wave up into this high. We get 4th and 5th, 4th and 5th higher up here, and that would be an extension directly up here. So going to be keeping an eye on this. Really, as long as these lows hold, we do have this potential for extension here, but we do have to be careful of that bearish count from our macro. If we start to see this losing these support zones and we start to see 5 wave structure to the downside developing, we need to be very careful that this just hasn't been a corrective structure up here as A, B, and C. And what we could then be looking for is that potential that this could still be an A wave, this could be a B wave, and this could be a C wave. This is why I'm looking out for that potential of forming 5 wave structure down. If we form a 5 wave move to the downside here, we need to be very careful that that isn't looking to start this C wave to the downside, in which case what we'd be looking for as possible targets would be a minimum of this 0.618 here at this 11786, and this 121 would be here at the 7133 as a possible target. So need to be cautious of that idea of the breakdown. Having a look at the daily pivots here, what we can see is that we are currently above our central CPR lines, which are sitting between this 36880 and this 36096. As long as we remain above these, we have potential to see price be gravitated towards some of these other targets to the upside here. We have this 39517, 41420, and this 42566 as possible targets for today. Now, price can always look to move through these. If we start to get impulsive price action to the upside, often we can see price move through these levels, but these are just potential pivot points. So we can see here that we're currently holding above the previous daily high as well, which is this orange line here. Now, if we do see price continue to find support here and push to the upside, this could align with this idea of this move starting to trend to the upside. If, however, we start to reject down and we lose these levels, downside targets for today would be this S1 line here at this 35395, we have 33467, and this 32336, and this lower level here of this 30468 as potential targets for today. Now, moving down towards these lower levels would align with that idea that we've got that 3-wave move here. Looking at some of these potential areas here, higher up, this could align with that idea of having that small E wave. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that idea. If we do look to see price come back down here just in 3 waves. This could align with the idea of looking to actually have a break to the upside. Now, looking at the weekly pivots, what we can see is that we actually have an inside bar printed here. So what this typically means is that we're going to see some sideways ranging price action taking place. So we need to just be on the lookout for this. These are not a certainty. These are just giving us an indication of the sentiment within the market. Now, if we do see price continue to stay within this range here, potentially what we could see is that idea that I said, you know, that this is a W, this is an X, and then we start to see something like this playing out. We just get this price action just coming back up here, sweeping highs, coming back down, taking lows, you know, just ranging in this area. So going to be keeping an eye on this. However, as long as we stay above these central lines here, potentially what we do have this week is possibility to look to gravitate towards this 41,025. We have this 44,771. We have this 49,339 as possible upside targets. To the downside, what we have is this 32,777. 28272, and this area here of this 24419 as potential downside targets for this week. Now, having a look at the monthly, we will get new monthly lines printed as of tomorrow, so we're going to have to keep an eye on how those print. We are currently still holding support here above our R2 line. If we do look to come back down into this, we could potentially find support here at this 37228. If we do hold this level, then possibly we could see price get gravitated to the upside. Upside targets for this month is this 46282, though we have met these other 2 targets already, so we could see price actually start to fall away here. If we do move back down, I will be looking for potential support here at this 31674. If this holds, then potentially we can see some kind of a reaction to the upside. This would align with the idea that this is just a bigger 3-wave corrective move, and we look to find support lower down here. So going to be keeping an eye on that if we are looking at that possibility of you know, finding support here and looking for that continuation. Though, like I said, we're going to get new lines printed as of tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.